look of Barlow in this one. You really hadn't seen that outside of, Nosferatu again.
Yeah, I think they did like a film in 1979 called Shadow of the Vampire, or maybe it was called Nosferatu. I don't remember, but it was, they kind of used that makeup in that, and this came out the same year, so it's really cool to see that.
Well, we don't have any repeat movies yet until now, so this will be our first repeat movie. At number 8, I'm falling right in line with Vic. I've got The Omen on my list. Again, look, man, you can't have a list without Damien. It's all for you, Damien. You can't have it. It's just hard to not have that on your top 10. I mean, The Omen is, in terms of, I don't know, demonic horror, it's not a possession movie, obviously. You don't see too many movies where, it's the son of Satan. That's something special all to itself, So I appreciate that. And I love it. Let me just say.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. Hashtag me too, then?
No, not yet.
We can't help ourselves. We're just fucking people. What can I say?
I agree. You cannot help yourself.
Oh, Blake.
Yeah. Blake knows it all. Blake knows it all too well. He's like, goddamn idiots.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Is there a way for people to listen to this thing live? Because people have started messaging me telling me they cannot listen to it live right now.
They gotta actually call in. Is that right, Vic? Is that the way you understand it? They actually have to call in and then mute their phone to listen live. Yeah,
they actually have to call in and use the code and all that.
That's stupid.
It is.
I
stupid.
agree.
It is
just
stupid.
because TalkShoe is a conference call thing and not an actual podcast system.
Yeah.
We're just cheating the system, not having to pay money.
Exactly. And then we put it on Spreaker, where our good friend David
or somewhere else
Angel. Yeah, exactly. So I apologize to those who can't listen live because we're cheapskates and we don't get paid from the podcast, so we don't pay for the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, understood.
Yeah. We're just not that adventurous. What can I say? All right, Vic, I'll give you number 7, buddy.
Number 7 is Dawn of the Dead.
Hell yeah, man. I worried about whether you'd have that on the list or not. I know you're not a big zombie guy, but you always show the proper respect for it.
Yeah, I once said on this podcast that George Romero is the most important piece of horror ever, so.
Yep.
You got to show the man respect.
Yeah. You got to show the man respect. He is George fucking Romero. Or George A stands for awesome. So you can't have, again, look, if you really look at the part 2s in horror history, Dawn of the Dead has to be right up there as one of the greatest part 2s of all time, ever.
Absolutely.
There's people out there, I don't know if I agree, but there are people out there that feel like Dawn of the Dead is better than Night of the Living Dead. And it just might be.
Those people are probably stupid, but...
Well, I will tell you this thing. This one thing I want to say about this is that this movie, it is very influential because, I think a lot of times when people think of zombies, they think of the shopping mall idea,
True. Very true.
So, I don't know. I think it's really influential, but at the same time, still not better than Night of the Living Dead to me.
Yeah.
But it is a fucking great movie, and it deserves all the accolades that it's ever gotten, except for the fact that it has blue zombies and weird music and red crown blood. But I think a lot of that was a product of the time. So, also, there's a whole bunch of different cuts of it that are even better, like the Dario Argento version of Dawn of the Dead is better, I think. So that's just me. But Blake, you're up at number 7, sir.
Well, I kind of feel bad because I actually intentionally picked movies that I didn't think anybody else would pick. I knew you guys were going to show respect to Romero, so I didn't feel as sad about not having him on here because he is not on my list at all. That's the big kicker. But oh my God, there's some horrendous static. Do you hear that?
It's Vic, I think, because he's probably doing stuff within the store. I apologize for the listeners.
Oh, that's not a problem. He has to work. fine.
Do me a favor, Vic. Whenever you, until you're ready to chime in, will you mute it just until you're done with work, buddy? He probably already heard me. Go ahead, Blake.
Well, no, that was no disrespect to him. I don't care. I just want to make sure it wasn't my phone or, where I'm at.
Well, we want to make sure it's at least a somewhat clean listening experience, too,
For number 7, it was really hard for me to pick stuff that wasn't multiple year, multiple films the same year, but I had to go with this one. The tagline got me. In space, no one can hear you scream. I had to go with Alien, man. It's still horror enough to be on this list.
Now, this has been parodied multiple times. Alien has that tagline. Haven't we heard of it? Wasn't it Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
And Spaceballs. They even have the little chest burster do a dance in Spaceball. It's parodied in a parody, basically.
Since we've talked about influential movies, is there any more influential sci-fi movie than Alien? Sci-fi horror, really.
It was great. It was a great film. I think it's underrated. I think the effects and stuff were ahead of its time. The idea of being stuck in space, that the vibe of isolation, the themes of isolation, and all that. I think it just added to the already kind of problems that they were experiencing there. And the great scene with John Hurt with the chest burster, that was unscripted. They didn't know that thing was going to bust out like that, so all the reactions are 100% genuine. That makes it even better.
And the dancer didn't know they were going to get splashed with blood.
Yeah, but it's a great movie. It's not super heavy on the gore, but it's got it where it counts. And who says horror movies have to be extremely gory, honestly?
Well, you and I have talked about this. What is a horror movie without atmosphere? And Alien has strong atmosphere. That's why for anybody who says, it's sci-fi, it's not horror, this is absolutely a horror movie. In fact, of the entire Alien series, Alien, the first Alien, is the most horror of all of them because it's all about atmosphere.
I'd agree. Atmosphere, it could be a house on Elm Street. It could be a house of a babysitter. It could be out in space. It could be in a farmhouse surrounded by the living dead. Atmosphere, that's one thing that each of those films share. There is a sense of atmosphere and a sense of discord. And that adds to the horror because you're not thinking straight. You're trying to prolong your own survival and fuck everybody else and anybody else's opinion. It's every man for himself, basically. Even in a mall. What is it, that Mall of America or wherever mall they're in Dawn of the Dead? It's full of these survivors and bikers. But there's kind of every man and woman for themselves,
Damn right.
Yeah.
So we've got... it's weird, man, when you do a list and Alien sitting there at number 7. It seems disrespectful, but then when you look at all the ones that could possibly be above it, you totally understand,
I will surprise you with some of the ones that are above it, though. Don't write me off yet, because I can already tell you there's some that I put up there you guys would not have even put up there. But I am different than you, and that makes this a fun show.
Yep, absolutely. You got to love the difference in opinions on it. Our pre-1970s horror list was interesting. So she had a lot of universal horror, but in this one, it's all over the place so far. Vic and I, however, have repeated one time. Let's do it again. Black Christmas is my number 7. It would have been a hell of a lot lower, not even on my top 10, had we not done the show on it, like in December of 2016. Vic wasn't even on that show, I don't think. I think I might have done it with, like, Brittany Wonder. But, yeah,
wow.
Man, look, Black Christmas is amazing. We already talked about it, but again, it's one of the original slashers movies. And so at number 7, it deserves to be there. And yeah, look, again, when you look at this list, and the fact that Black Christmas is even on there, that shows a lot of respect to it. Because these 1970s movies are absolutely. Again, this decade was insane. Like, everybody talks about the 80s, and I do love the 80s, but the 70s, good God, it brought us so many iconic movies.
Well, absolutely. And it's one thing I want to mention that, some of these things didn't make my list, but it was hard not to put them. And the reason I mostly did not put those same movies on my list is because I knew that they were going to be represented respectfully and faithfully by you two. And what would be the point of having everybody having the same list? That would be boring.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yep, definitely. I think Vic and I are probably going to agree on some and not have the exact same list. But let's see where Vic's sitting at number 6 now.
All right, I guess it's time to repeat again. I'm going with I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah, see, Vic, I knew you had to have I Spit on Your Grave pretty high on your list because you love your rape horror. Let's be honest. That's like
I mean, it is, man. I love it. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just it's amazing to me.
I Spit on Your
That
Grave
probably
is an
sounded
iconic
horrible.
movie. It gets mentioned in Scream. It is number 9 on my list, number 6 on your list. And that tells you something about it. It's consistent so far, with us two having it both on our lists. I mean, think about it. When you look at lists, and should it be easy to leave almost any movie off of a top 10 in the 70s because they're all so good. I mean, the ones that we're looking at, there were very few that I was like, of the main movies where I was like, well, shit. Everything was about trying to shoehorn one in because, again, it's hard to narrow it down to 10. So I'm rambling. I'm drunk. I've been drinking. I'm happy to do so, and I'm happy to be back here. So, all right, man. Number 6. Who's up? Blake?
That's so weird, Vic, because my number 6 is Myers Archives, I Spit on Your Grave, 1978.
My guy.
Everybody had it.
Oh, it's just a classic, and I've seen the remake, and I enjoyed the remake. I especially love the alternate take on Johnny's death, the gelding, and the way that it's done by Sarah Butler in the remake. But I really do love the original, unexpected kind of bathtub thing because it makes sense logistically. You're warm, and the bathtub is warm, and you bleed out a lot quicker in a warm environment. So
yes.
It's a classic, and it had to be on here. And it's just weird that Vic and I put it at the same spot. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that hasn't happened much. You guys did it with Psycho on the pre-1970s horror, but nobody else has really repeated the same spot very often. So props to you guys. And I tell you what, that's a gory fucking movie before gory fucking movies. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm at number 6 now, and this is one of those things where, it feels really weird to have this at number 6. I can't believe that this movie is this low on my list, but when I look at the ones above it, I'm like, of course it is. How could it be even higher? It's just really hard. Dawn of the Dead's my number 6. Vic had it at number 7, so we're pretty close to each other on that. Dawn of the Dead is a great fucking movie. It's not a flawless movie by any means, but, let's be honest, very few of these movies are. But, Dawn of the Dead, when it comes to zombie movies, next to Night of the Living Dead, it's probably the most influential zombie movie, other than maybe Return of the Living Dead also, because of brains. But, it's right there. It's not my favorite, but it definitely deserves to be in the top 10 on a 1970s horror list, in my opinion. So, there goes Dawn of the Dead, number damn, it's weird to say it, number 6. Wow. Especially after having Night of the Living Dead at number 1. All right, Vic. Number 5. We're going to the fucking nitty-gritty now, man.
All right, man. My number 5 is actually probably going to be the first one that people might have think I put too low, but I look at my list and I couldn't have put it anywhere else, and I'm going with probably the most terrifying movie of all time, Exorcist.
The Exorcist sitting at number 5. We both met Linda Blair, and even though she's a bitch, and she is, what can you say about The Exorcist, man? Okay, while The Exorcist has never scared me, never scared me, I do recognize that I understand that it's probably top 5 scariest movies of all time. Even if it's not scary to me. I understand that.
Absolutely. And Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells as a film composer and a musician at one time, that theme and that soundtrack influenced me a lot in my own composition. It's just creepy. It gives it that ethereal vibe, and there we are, atmosphere. Music helped build atmosphere, and that is one of the cases where a good soundtrack makes a great movie even better.
And let's be honest, Blake, Tubular Bells is one of those things where Tubular Bells is right there with the Halloween theme, right there with the Jaws theme. from the most iconic, great horror themes of all time.
I would put it right up there. Yeah, Jaws, House